Okay. Let's see. Okay, it's ready. Yay. Okay. We are set to go. Let's see over here what we've got. It's hard being a one-woman show sometimes. So, let me come over here to our Instagram channel, and we're going to look and see if everything is streaming okay. Let me see here. Give me just a second. So, hope everybody is having a great week. Okay, we'll just see if that pops up. Anyway, how is everybody? It's been a little hot minute since we last did a little Q&A. So if you are watching, as I said earlier, drop me a line. Let me know where you're from. Say hello so I can say hi back to you. And start thinking of questions that you guys may have. Our passion is talking about holistic health and cats and seeing where we can bridge those two. It's so cool to be able to use alternative remedies and healing for cats. There's just so much out there that's available that people just don't know about that can be used safely for cats. Dogs tend to be like the first go-to, obviously. No big surprise there. Cats are second-class citizens in a dog's world sometimes. So anyway, I just appreciate you guys being here. Hi, Diane. How are you? I'm hoping Instagram, it says it's live, but I don't see it showing up on my phone just yet. Let me see if we can get this working. And if it doesn't, it just doesn't. What can I say? We'll see. We'll see how this goes. All right. So, Don Michelle is here. Hello, hello, hello. It's so great to have you guys. So, I know it's been like a month since we talked. So, what's new? What's changed? Any good news you guys want to share on your end? Things that you've been using or doing with your cats that have seen some really cool changes, improvements in health, behaviors, whatever the case may be. We love to celebrate wins as well as support you guys in your efforts to find new solutions. So don't let frustration, if something doesn't work as well as you wanted it to or expected it to the first time, don't let that stop you from continuing to try things, because I was having a great conversation last night with my Pet Health Junkies friends, Jessica Fisher from the Pet Parenting Reset and Janet Cesarini from Pupology. And we were talking about how so many times people get really, really discouraged because they'll do something they'll try one thing and they'll do it for a few days and then they'll get discouraged and they'll quit. And they're like, oh, I tried that. It didn't work. Well, the thing is, sometimes you have to give it some time. In some cases, it can be weeks, it can be a month or two before you really start to notice a difference, depending on what you're dealing with, of course. But don't give up after just, 3 or 4 days or a week. You know that you've got to give it some time for things to really start to change. And that's the reality. We don't live in an instant gratification world like people who want to live in an instant gratification world, but that's really not reality when it comes to healing and health. So it does take time for the body to heal. Diane says, are there any allergy tests using serum to determine sensitivities in cats? I've heard about Pet Medela. Is that better? Asking for Elvis with occasional rodent ulcers. I don't know of Pet Medela yet. I haven't looked at that one. You'd have to just look at their website. I know that the Yukari and I think the Glacier Peak, those are not blood serum. Those are more saliva. So you would just really have to check with the website and look at their test results, because they should have some kind of documentation on their website about their product that showed, how positive when they were in research and development, what their test results are, how good they are. Look at reviews that people have given specific testing to see how well they work. I know that there's another one. Dr. Jean Dodds does the, oh, now I'm just totally drawing a blank. She does this like a sensitivity test too. And oh gosh, I can't remember the name of it, but it'll come to me and you guys may know it, but write it down in the comments if you think of it before I do. But I don't think it's a blood serum. So just keep that in mind. I think it might be helpful to have different perspectives, but you would probably want to do some research and see what the best results come from. Is it from blood serum or is it more from fur? Is it from saliva? We're talking pets versus people. So it might be different. I'm just not as familiar with that because it's not my test. So anyway, sorry, I don't know anything about Pet Medela yet, but if it's a good product, I'm sure I'll be hearing about it in the space sooner or later. And then Don says, Luna's ears are starting to improve. Yay! I stopped using the castor oil and aloe vera. I'm just using the colloidal silver in her ears and probiotics for the last few days. Awesome. You said it sounded more like an ear infection rather ear mites. Yes. That is awesome. Good news. That makes me really happy. It's like sometimes the obvious thing tends to not be so obvious because when we get in the thick of things, and you guys probably know this, when you're in the weeds, you can't see a foot in front of you, right? Because you don't have that bird's eye view. So it's easy to get stuck doing something, expecting a different result. But if you keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result, but you keep getting the same results, then you've really got to change. You've got to ask yourself, why am I doing this? What is the end goal? And if this isn't working, I probably need to change gears and try a different approach, try a different product, or look at it from a different perspective. So, yeah, it's hard when it's your pet, right? Because we do have an emotional attachment to the outcome and the results that we're getting with them. So it's hard sometimes, but like I tell people, trust your gut, trust your intuition. That is spirit talking to you. And we all have that connection to God, to source, to the divine through that intuition. It is our direct link, and it's put in each one of us. So we really need to remember to just sit down and really listen, get out of your head and get into your heart space and get quiet, get calm, and just listen to what it's guiding you to do. Ideas that kind of drop in when you're in that space, and go in with an open mind and an open heart. Because if we are resistant to new coming into our field, guess what? New will not come into our field because the energy we're putting off says, I don't want you. I don't want that. I don't trust that. So I have to do this for myself sometimes too. It's just, you always have to remember, what is the big picture? What is the end goal? And can I be open-minded to learn something different, to get, a different result? What do I have to do? Just, things like that. So be open-minded, because we don't know what we don't know sometimes. And that is one of my favorite mantras, especially when I was starting out several years ago. And I was just in this learning process and learning and learning and learning. It's like, oh my gosh, I never knew that. I never knew that. Or that totally contradicts what I was, what I used to think was good, was proper, whatever. That was my programming back then. And I find out that was not correct. So I think the one most important things we can always remember to do is just come with an open mind, and an open heart, and just be willing to shift gears, change directions. If something isn't working and something in you is just kind of like worried and you're doubting, and you're not seeing the results that you want to see, then just step back and go, okay, what would my higher self tell me? You know, what what would what should I do at this point? Because ABC. So, okay, Laura says Nutriscan. Thank you. I, I knew somebody would know what it is, and I just had one of those little brain farts and couldn't think of it. So thank you very much. Okay, so let's see what else. Okay, I can see comments, you guys, on YouTube and Facebook. I am not able to see comments at this point on Instagram. So it says it's streaming on Instagram. I am just not seeing it streaming on Instagram. So I don't know if you guys are able to see or not see, but anyway, we'll just keep rolling. Okay, so what else? What other questions do you guys have this week? This is going to be a really short live. If y'all don't give me some questions to think about. But I'm always happy to connect with you guys. And just remember that I do free consultations. You can book a consultation through my website, free 20-minute chats, and we can just talk about current concerns, what's going on. I might be able to point you in a direction that you haven't thought about, or give you some insight from just experience and things that I've learned or used myself or read about from amazing integrative holistic vets. So you just never know. Sometimes just talking to someone to get a different perspective and viewpoint is really a good idea, because we can get stuck in our own rut sometimes, you know? Let's see. I was going to share something else. What was I going to share with you guys? I got to think about it. It's been kind of busy today. My kittens got to go outside for the first time 3 days ago, and now they're obsessed. So it's very distracting. So Laura says, how does the eclipse affect our pets? You know, that's a very good question. I don't know the answer to that. I guess we will find out on Monday. But, you know, like if you think about sometimes full moons, that energy that is put off in a full moon, pets can be a little anxious or affected by that. So it wouldn't surprise me, just because of all of the crazy energies in the universe right now with the alignments. I think I read on Allie Phillips' page that there's 4 planets in retrograde right now. So that right there says a little wacko, perhaps. And with the energies of the eclipse coming up Monday, and I think there's also another one. We're like in an eclipse season, and I can't keep track of how many there are or when they are. Between full moons or new moons, there's a lot of things going on in the planet and astrologically. So I would just monitor your cats, your dogs, if you guys have dogs too, and just watch their behavior. And if you see them kind of acting a little anxious or different in some way, just kind of note, okay, how are they behaving and how is it different? Is it more energy, like hyper happy energy, or is it more fear, anxiety energy, stress? Because, you know, there's all these great things that we can do to help our cats de-stress, including interactive play sessions with them, enrichment, whether that's indoor play sessions or taking them supervised outside somehow, if you're able to do that. Keeping them, you know, active, keeping them happy, just engaging, sitting with them, and, you know, having pet sessions. You can use things like color therapy. I know purple is beautiful for anxiety and nervousness. You can use the color green for if you need to feel more grounded. Just think like grass, green grass. We go outside to get grounding. If a pet is super, super fearful and scared, red root chakra support right there. So those are just some things that you can think about. There's also things like herbs. If you do herb gardens for your pets, for your cats, you can put down a few herbs on a towel and like a little pile. Angelica root is really great for grounding. Yarrow, which is an now I'm thinking of something else, but yarrow is very grounding. Valerian, which is, one of the types of, I don't want to say weeds, but it's a plant that they use for cat toys. So it's like catnip and valerian, and some cats respond to valerian and some respond to catnip, and some do both and some do neither. So valerian can be very calming, actually. What others? Like, you can even diffuse like really high quality essential oils like Young Living. Check out Allie Phillips' page, and it's Allie Catalyst. I think that's her page on Facebook and Instagram. She is like a pro on diffusing calming oils and things like that, and crystals. Bayla says silvervine. Yes, silvervine is a great herb you can put down on your little pile of things, of herbs for them to go select, sit next to. They're just taking in those phenols, the scents, and it can be very grounding and very calming for them. Chamomile is another one that can be very calming. Bayla says passion flower. So just do a little research, and there's just so many ways that we can provide, calming scents, even music. So maybe classical music, solfeggio frequencies on YouTube. Just type solfeggio, and I'm going to write that here in the comments if you've never heard of this. Frequencies. They are awesome. It's like meditation music, and they're done at different frequencies that really support different chakras. So they can be very calming and very grounding and relaxing. So you can play those if your animals just need a little bit more support. There's just a lot of different things that we can do to support them if they feel like they're a little off in the next few days or a week. Don says, I'd love to know more about your process for getting as accurate information as possible when you're doing intuitive and energy work. How do you ensure that you're channeling from God? Well, our direct contact, intuition, is our connection to God. That is one of our higher faculties that we all have, just like perception and reason, our will, our imagination, our intuition. All of these are higher faculties that separate us from the animal kingdom. So we have these abilities. Now, do we use them all? No, we don't. But intuition is that direct contact to source. I use muscle testing or energy testing, typically with a crystal, a pendulum. You can do muscle testing with fingers, and that is one of the best ways I have found to get accurate information from the body about issues, stress, imbalance, emotions, blocks, whatever it is. This is how I tap into it and see what resonates with the body, because the body has all the answers. Words are frequencies. Everything is energy. And when you think of it and you realize that everything is energy, I am made of energy. Our cats are made of energy. The chair that I'm sitting in is made of energy. The desk that my computer is on is energy. Everything is made of energy. It's vibrating at different frequencies, at different levels. It's not still. If you were to look at it under a microscope, you would see all the molecules moving, but they're moving at different frequencies, at different vibrations. So we can tap into those frequencies, and that's the cool thing, because the body is just a vessel and holds all these frequencies. So that's how I get accurate information, is through energy testing or actual muscle testing using my body or my hands. So does that answer your question? Let's see. I'm coming over here. Vicky says, Kate, her animal communicator, who is amazing, by the way, says that cats like the 639 frequency and it's calming. Yes, I think the higher you go, that's more into this the sixth and seventh chakra. So yes, that's more of your, the sixth chakra is all about your intuition. That's here. And then your seventh chakra is your crown chakra, which is your connection, okay, to source, to God, to divine. Um, so the higher the numbers, yeah, you're going to really tap into supporting those vibrations, those frequencies. Absolutely. Um, Bayla says, Ritu, that's her precious kitty. He likes the hang drum and the harp. Oh, I hope I said that right. Hang drum? The hang drum and the harp. Yeah, it's very calming. Every cat, I mean, cats are so intuitive and they're so amazing. They're so sensitive. So that doesn't surprise me at all. Cynthia says, I went to share in December 2023. I adopted a rescue kitty who had been in 3 homes and 1 rescue and also lived on the street. She got pregnant and had 2 kittens by the time I adopted her at only 13 and a half months old. Oh my gosh. She seems to have had a very poor nutrition history, being pregnant and nursing so young. She was underweight. I immediately got her off the rice and salmon kibble that she had been gobbling in huge amounts and fed her 90% mixed, 96% meat canned food. Her body got out piles of fermenting stool. I need to see if I can see the rest of this. This is so interesting. I think it cut you off there. It may have cut you off, Cynthia. Keep going and we'll just continue sharing that story because I want to know the rest. Okay, so Barbara says, thanks for all you've done for me and Squirrel. Most of the information you're sharing here is so helpful and such a great advice. Oh, thank you so much. It is my pleasure and it is my purpose. When you find your purpose, that is like the best place. So if you are going through life and you're not sure what your purpose is, spend some time sitting quiet, calm, and just start to imagine the things that you want in your life, what makes you happy, what makes you excited, what makes you want to get out of bed every day. And just follow your heart's leading, where it's guiding you to find your purpose. Because when you find your purpose, everything changes. And for whatever reason, mine is to work with cats. And I guess you could say I've known it since I was an infant because I've been around them since I was hours old. So anyway, that's so cool. Thank you, Barb. So her cat Pumpkin liked the 639 frequency. I bet. Yeah, it's just if you haven't ever explored the solfeggio frequencies on YouTube, they're pretty amazing. If you do like a meditation at night or in the morning, you can just put that on. If your cat's home alone during the day, you can put that music on. It's just very calming and very nurturing. And those solfeggio frequencies, being at those certain vibrational levels, are very healing for whatever chakra that it's kind of geared towards supporting. So if you can support the chakra systems, that's helps support the energy flowing through the body, and it creates more ease and less dis-ease, and everything just gets better. So never discount the power of vibration and music as well. All right. Cynthia, I still want to hear the rest of your story. So for some reason it cut you off. Let's see. I'm going to make sure I did not miss anybody. Let me come back up here. No, I think I've got everything so far. So, okay. Does anybody have any other questions? I like the eclipse question. It'll be interesting to see how our cats respond on Monday's energy. And at the end of the day, I don't think it's anything to be fearful about. I don't, how many times have we had eclipses over thousands of years and nothing detrimental has happened. The power hasn't gone out. It's there. The way that media and everything is portraying this, you think it's like Armageddon or something. And it frustrates me because no, no, this is just an eclipse. It's a heavenly energy. Let's, embrace it. And the fact that you can watch it is pretty cool because it doesn't happen very often. So, yeah, it's pretty neat. So, take some pictures if you can and just enjoy the moment. That's my advice. Okay. Anybody else? Before I forget, we've got two couple really cool events this month. I've got Dr. Jeff Grognett coming back on the radio show in a couple weeks. We're going to continue the discussion on over vaccination for our pets, and we're going to talk about vaccine programs and dive a little bit into more of what we can do to help support our kitties. Or just pets in general. And then also later this month, Nina and I are doing a whole live event on the Akashic records. So it's going to be really cool to talk about the Akashic. And I'm not going to go into it and spoil it right now. It's not my expertise area. It's really more about hers, but she does offer Akashic record readings for people as well as pets. And we're going to be talking all about that and just kind of learn more about how they hold answers and secrets from the past and give insights into our present situations, our relationships, our future. It's pretty cool stuff. So that will be later. I think it's the last Thursday of the month. Bayla says there are dolphin and whale sounds on YouTube that are healing, and the pods talk to each other. Yes, yes, I've seen, just the wildlife type of documentaries and stuff, and they're just amazing. And yes, you're right. They do actually have just music recordings of all of that, and it is very healing. There's just so much in our world that I think has been kind of overlooked and in some cases hidden intentionally to keep people distracted away from all these amazing non-toxic natural ways of just balancing energy, letting the body heal itself from the inside out, without having to use medication and without having to use toxic stuff, that work against the body's natural way of balancing and healing itself. So it's just so interesting. And it doesn't always have to be physical, because when you think about it, everything starts outside the body first. So everything starts at the spiritual level, and then it comes down into our emotional field, and then it moves into the body on a physical level. So it doesn't start from the inside and work outward. It starts out and moves in when it comes to energy that impacts us, and affects healing, affects emotional health, and things like that. So that's why I love that there's so many alternative things that we can do, like colors and crystals and aromatherapy and vibrational healing through music, and even like the bowls, the singing bowls. That's all about sound. It's sound healing. So, and then just energetic healing modalities like Reiki, like energy clearing techniques, homeopathy, flower essences. It's basically all energetic. So that's what's so cool. We can affect the body from an energetic perspective, which impacts physical, emotional, and spiritual healing. Okay. Does anybody else have anything they want to share? Oh, let me see if I can go back and see Cindy's the rest of her stuff. Here we go. All right. So here she says, I can see it on the sidebar. Okay. So she got all out. Her body got out piles of fermenting stool, and she lost her previous bloated silhouette 2.5 days after adoption. I offered her raw food, which she took to immediately. That's awesome. However, she was obsessed with food, constantly whining, checking food on the counter, bothering me when I was trying to eat, including pica, waking me early to the point that she was given the nickname Food Monster. I kept her to 2 meals a day, but balanced. That's awesome. So she's obviously doing very, very well. And, it's just amazing the power of food. When we feed cats the diet that they were meant to eat, it's just amazing how the body can heal and balance and restore itself. So that's really cool. If she is if she has pica, I don't know if she's been rabies vaccinated, but that's been linked to pica. But it could be that it could be an emotional block of some kind, like maybe being separated too young from her mother. So cats can develop the pica because of emotional stuff. But fortunately, there's just so many wonderful things that we can do to help support cats and heal emotionally. So that's beautiful. That's so exciting. Yeah, it's neat when you have cool things like that to share. Okay, and then she has more. Let's see. She kept the food balanced. It balanced it with her body being used to large volumes of kibble and gradually got her used to getting good nutrition from 2 meals a day. And she would also panic eat and regurgitate. I put her on a lick mat for a number of weeks and divided meals into 3 and 2 parts to get her slow down. Yep. It's so cool. When they come from living on the streets and having to fend for themselves, it's just the paradigm that they develop because they're not sure when their next meal is where it's coming from. And so they do tend to eat as much as they can. And then sadly they regurgitate. So it sounds like she's making good progress, right? So very cool. I love that. You'll have to keep us posted and see how she's doing. Let's see. Okay, she's got more. Yesterday she left about a quarter of her breakfast in her bowl to check out some chipmunks and then returned to calmly eat the rest of her meal. Yay! Milestone. It meant that food was not on her mind, number one on her mind, and she didn't worry about her food disappearing. She knew it would still be there if she left for a while, and she ate at a reasonable rate. That is so awesome. So very awesome. Yeah, it just takes reprogramming, right? And speaking of programming, we are doing a new, I don't know if I'm going to call it a series, but Deanna Tsang and I, who is a Reiki master provider here at Purrrfectly Holistic, we are starting a new live, I guess it's a series. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. In May, we're going to start a live event on the topic of paradigms for pets and for pet parents. So it is all about programming and how to identify them and how to shift and move into different, healthier paradigms to get different results. So be looking for that late May, mid to late May. It's not going to be after Memorial Day, but it'll be really cool. Okay, she's got more. Yeah, for some reason, I'm not able to see on StreamYard all of the entire conversation. So thank you, Cynthia. She says her kitty is now eating 2 raw meals a day from a regular bowl and is not constantly whining. She is not so bothersome on the counter and the dining room table. We still have some improvements to make, but I consider this a big win considering where we started. That's awesome. That's awesome. It's just so cool because she's just learning that, she's in a safe place. She trusts you. She knows where her meals are coming from. She doesn't have to be stressed And, if you've ever tried to eat when you are stressed or upset, it is not a good idea. It doesn't go well. Your food cannot digest when you are in sympathetic nervous system mode. So that's why we have all these digestive issues, and cats are no different. So if they're really stressed and they're eating and they're throwing it right back up, that's probably why, or that can contribute to one of many reasons why cats would vomit right after they eat something. But clearly, in her case, that was linked to all that anxiety and worry about where's my next meal coming from. So that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Let me try to think if there was anything else I was going to share. Do you guys have any questions on or suggestions for topic ideas? So for some of our live shows, if there's a specific category, a topic that you want us to cover, let us know, because we have so much information that we can talk about, but I want to keep it to something that's important to you guys or something that you want to learn about. So definitely let us know. Submit your suggestions. So Kit says, I have a stubborn kibble addict foster. It's been a battle of wills for 2 months. Oh, bless her heart. How old is the cat? That's where I would start. How old? That's what I want to know. How old is it? And it's definitely hard. My secret weapon is energy work, because energy work has been proven to clear sugar addiction, which is kibble, and blocks to wet food, blocks to raw food, things like that. So there can be blocks because, okay, 8 years maybe. If that is all they've ever had in their entire life is someone fed them dry food, that's their paradigm. That's their program. That's what they were conditioned to think that food is. So we have to be creative and changing the paradigm, changing the program. Like I said, energy work is like the shortcut from A to Z to get that to happen. You may have already done this, but you can start just adding a little bit of water into the bowl with the kibble, or bone broth, or goat's milk, or something that she might like. If you've explored the wet treats, like the purees that squeeze up, if you have tried baby food meat purees, some cats really dig those, and you can kind of trick them, and you can put some of those wet treats as toppers, just to get them used to a different texture, because all they've been taught is this dry food is food, when we know that's not really food. But that's all, we teach them what food is, right? So if they were left on their own in the wild, they would be hunting, insects and wildlife and things like that. So here's a little background. She says she was dumped by a northern highway August, September, October, captured and in a kennel November, December, and came down to the city in January. Oh, wow. Okay. Was she feral, or do you think she was previously owned by somebody? That's really interesting. So if she's around people, God, it just breaks my heart. What is wrong with people who dump their animals? I just don't even get me started. I don't understand. I don't know how people can leave their pets behind. I don't know how they are human. Maybe they're not. She's very friendly, so was she likely owned. Oh, that's crazy. Well, if she was found by a northern highway, then she was probably dumped. Cats just don't. I wouldn't think a cat would normally seek out, just let me go explore by this highway, right? Bless her heart. So she's probably got some emotional trauma there as well, being abandoned and discarded and things like that. Those can also interfere with food resistance. So just know that, since you don't really know her background. But I would just say pack your patience and give her a lot of love and just use treats to your best advantage. You may have to try different textures, different types of proteins, um, and start putting like a little half a teaspoon of something, whether she eats it or not, just put it next to her food so she starts to get used to smelling it and she starts to associate it with mealtime. Eventually, her biology will kick in and she'll be a little curious and she'll go sniff it. She may not eat it yet, but she might lick it. And then one day she might lick it a little bit more and she might eat it all. So with some cats, you just have to you have to go at their pace. If I can help with energy work, let me know, because that can go a long way. So clearing whatever her trauma is from her horrible, experience being next to a highway, to helping you with the food stuff. So yeah, we can definitely do some mind, body, spirit release for that. Let's see, what else did she share? Okay, no, that was it for that one. Well, she's lucky to have you for sure. You'll have to keep us informed on how that's going. Okay, we have a question from Heather. I am new to this holistic channel. What should I accept? What should I probably expect, and what can you ask? Well, welcome. It's nice to have you. We are talking about ways to help our cats using more holistic approaches. So if you have a specific condition or a behavior that you're trying to change, fix, improve, whatever, that's where people just kind of drop their questions in here and go, here's my situation I need help with. And then I kind of throw out my best advice based on my experience and what I've learned from really successful people who specialize in whatever area, if it's holistic medicine or behaviorist or a combination of all of the above. So yeah, we're just here to support people who want to learn how to do better for their cats and using more natural, non-toxic, more feline specific approach that are more appropriate than big pharma and toxic meds, and just trying to get more of the insight, like why do cats do certain things, because there's always an answer, but it may not be what we think. So yeah, if you have questions, let us know. We're here once a month, and you can always send messages on our Facebook page as well, and we love to connect. Bailey, you're so sweet. Yeah, you know what? When you're new and you're learning, it's like sometimes you don't even know where to start. So yeah, you just, like I said, my favorite mantra is you don't know what you don't know, and just have an open mind and come with an open heart and see what you might learn, because it could change your cat's life for sure. I know it has mine, and it has a lot of people who are here today. So that's awesome. Okay, let's see what else. Kit, I have a question also for your new your foster. How is her overall behavior? Is she very calm now, or is she still a little skittish? Is she real clingy? Is she real needy? Because there's so many things you can do to help balance that energy with, colors, with crystals, with flower essences, aromatherapy, things like that, music, like we've talked about earlier. So you can just zero in on, besides food stuff, she's probably got some other things going on. So there's so many things you can explore to support her with that. Okay. We are getting close to the end here. Does anybody have anything else they want to ask before we wrap up tonight? Oh, you're so sweet, Vicki. Thank you so much. I am excited about your next chapter, Vicky. So hopefully everything will work out for you very, very shortly. So, and if you want to share that, I will leave it up to you. Um, okay, so Kit says she seems calm here now, but definitely doesn't want to even peek into the hallway of our building. She turns and runs back in. Yeah, I can imagine. Just she's found a safe space, and this is her safe retreat. So anything out in the big bad world is a very, very scary place. In fact, there is a limiting belief that cats can hold on to, because I have one that does sometimes. This is her higher self. Her perception is the world is not a safe place. And another one is I am not safe in the world. So those kinds of impressions, and again, beliefs are just energies, they're just frequencies. So it lowers the vibration, and they can be very, very skittish and afraid and just fearful. So bless her heart. But at least she's got you. So that's awesome. That's really awesome. Okay. Let's see what else is on here. Let's see. Okay, so here's something for. She just says, I just recently lost my fur baby Pumpkin and received amazing support from Pam and Kate. Kate is one of our animal communicators who is amazing. She's amazing. If you guys have never done an animal communication session, it would be one of the most special things you treasure the rest of your life. Just knowing what our cats are thinking, you can ask how they want to be supported, um, what they like, what they don't like, what their past is. If you've rescued someone and you don't know anything about their history, um, there's just so much information they can share with you, and so much wisdom and insight that they can bring, especially when it kind of gets to that transition phase. Just knowing how they want to be supported, um, what they want you to know, even connecting with them after they've transitioned, you can still do that. So it is so special, so special. And I know that meant a lot to Vicky, um, before Pumpkin passed. So just keep that in mind. Try it. It's amazing. Okay, so Heather says, I have 3 girls, 2 small dogs. The dogs go outside. How do I naturally treat my cats for and then it cut off. I can't see the rest. I'm sorry, Heather. Um we'll continue that thought. I think I know what you're going to say, but I'm not sure. So, okay, Kit says, she purrs so quietly you can't hear her. She seldom meows. She doesn't wake me up at night like my own did for years. Aw. Some of that is just that's how they are. Like some cats naturally purr really, really, really loud and some don't. But what's also interesting is, and gosh, I know I sound like this is going to sound terrible because you know how I am with vaccines. The rabies vaccine has been linked to laryngeal issues, losing the voice, trachea issues in dogs. So if your cat has have they been rabies vaccinated once, twice, just know that one of the adverse reactions is losing their voice or the ability to purr. So just a very interesting side note on that. So Vicky says, oh, I sent her pictures yesterday of rescue kittens who need a home. Yes, I did. And our fingers are crossed. Okay, here we go. Heather says, flea trick. That's what I thought you were going to ask me about. How do I naturally treat my cats for fleas? You know what? I would not recommend using any kind of heartworm stuff with cats. They just don't, they are not really, their risk of getting any kind of mosquito bite with heartworm issues is slim to none, especially if they are indoors. Um, but even if they go outdoors, it's not really as prevalent at all for cats. Dogs more so, but you have to really look at your area and how prevalent, how terrible is the incidence of heartworm in your area. Okay, number one. Flea and tick treatment. If your cats are indoors, probably I don't recommend that, but there are natural flea tick products that you can use for your dogs who go outside. You can use natural non-toxic products for cats as well, if they happen to get exposed to it, or if they go outside, whatever. So like products like Flea X by Feline Essential is one that comes to mind, and yes, it can be used on dogs. But there's a brand called Wonderside. There's a brand called Earth Animal. um, there's a bunch. Tropiclean has one that's non-toxic. um, there are many, many, many. But what you don't want to use is the one from Bayer, NexGard, Revolution, Seresto. Anything that your vet's going to sell you is not what I would recommend using on your pets, period. Because Big Pharma creates those. And if you read the label, it says, do not get on your skin. Use gloves to, for especially the topical stuff. So what does that tell you? That's probably not very safe for you. So what is it doing to your pets? Um, and the ones that you give orally, the fleas have to actually bite the pet in order to ingest the toxic chemical in the blood to kill them. So it's not preventative, and it has to work after the fact. So if your cat or dog has toxic chemicals running through their bloodstream, and a lot of those are neurotoxins that cause seizures and disrupt and kill the microbiome, and disrupt the intestinal lining, and it leads to a whole bunch of issues. That's probably, that's not a very good situation to be in. So fortunately, you can use some non-toxic stuff. Even Dr. Becker has like a natural flea preventative that you can spray on the dogs. That's super, super, it smells good. There's just so many things out there. You just have to you have to look. And they have to be applied a little bit more frequently than the typical Big Pharma stuff. Okay. But at least you're not harming your pets. So that's the key. So yeah, don't worry about this. This was a big pet peeve of mine. So vets will suggest that indoor cats need flea and tick medication and heartworm medicine, and that doesn't make any sense, especially if they don't go outside. Where's the logic? So we have to start listening to our common sense and asking questions if it doesn't make sense. And if it doesn't make sense, just say, thank you for that information. I'm going to go home and do some research and think about this, and I'll get back to you. And you don't have to get back to them, but that is your nice, polite way of saying, no, thank you, not today. I need to do my research. And it's okay. It's totally okay that you do that. So I hope that gives you some ideas. But yeah, just research online, and even in the perfectlyholistic.com shop, we have the Flea X, and there's so many wonderful brands that are non-toxic for cats and for dogs that you can use. So Cynthia says, I lost my soul kitty in June, so my heart shares your loss. Oh, I know, Vicky. So Vicky's had a conversation with Kate and Pumpkin, and he told Kate that he was okay with her getting another fur baby, that I was still giving him lots of love, and I would be loving him still through them. So, yeah, our pets are amazing, and they want us to be happy, and they love us from the other side. They watch over us from the other side. They are here to guide us if we tune in and listen. Um, so it's just, they're so amazing. Don't ever doubt that, they hated you for doing something that, you feel guilty for or whatever. Cause I guarantee you that's not how they run. That is our perception and our paradigm. That's not theirs. They are nothing but pure love and support. We have soul contracts with them. We're here to be together, to go through certain things, experience certain things, to learn, to grow. And that's why we're together. That's why they're in our lives. And so don't feel guilty. It was part of the journey that you both signed up for, and they love you from the other side unconditionally. So never doubt that. Never doubt that. Kim wants to know, are you planning to be at CatCon in Pasadena? I don't have any plans to be there right now. I will be going to Super Zoo. That's my big trip for the year. But that's all I have planned at this time. Okay. Just a couple more minutes, guys, and we're going to wrap this up. Heather, let me know if you have any other questions too. And I have tons of articles on my blog, which is purrrfectlyholistic.com. And then my YouTube channel has tons of videos with cool interviews, roundtable talks, radio show topics. You can just start, binging through all of that if you want to start learning about different things. And it is a vast array of topics and things. Let's see. Question from Heather. Weird question. Is it true they can sense if you're in your period? You know what? They can probably sense that and a whole lot more. They are little energy sponges. So if you are emotional, what woman isn't, when it's that time? We're emotional. We're emotional creatures, right? They can pick up on those emotions, because emotions are energy. They're just frequencies. And cats are super, super sensitive to energy, good, bad, whatever. If our energy is really high and positive, chances are they're going to be really happy too. If our energy is really low and worry and doubt and fear, they're going to be feeling that as well, and they might be acting out that as well. So absolutely they can. Don't ever doubt that they don't know what's going on. Do you ever notice, like, when you're not feeling well or you're really sad, they'll come over and they'll sit next to you, or they just want to be pet and they're just purring, 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 and they'll sit on you. It's like they're trying to support, they're trying to raise your vibe, they're trying to help heal you. And they just know, they just know. They're so amazing. Anyway, yeah, let's see. Last question of the night, guys. We're going to wrap it up here. One more, and then we're going to call it a night before I lose my voice. So, Vicki, you're going to have to keep us updated next month. Let us know how things are going. And Heather, come back next month with more questions. So Bayla says, my Easter Bunny caught her cancer 3 times and put the genie oncologist in his place. The gynae oncologist in his place. Oh my goodness, that's funny. Our pets pick up our stuff. They just do, and they do that out of love to support us. It's all about frequency and energy, which is amazing. Diane says, I agree. Elvis's pica and ulcers are emotional. I can tie some events back to me. It's amazing. And I'll wrap it up with this. Nikola Tesla, one of the great scientists of the 1800s, I believe. He said, if you want to understand the secrets of the universe, look at energy, frequency, and vibration. everything centers around energy, frequency, and vibration. When you start to really understand those concepts and look at things from that perspective, it all starts to make sense. So, thank you guys so much. And again, if you have questions, you're welcome to book a free consultation. On the website, purrrfectlyholistic.com. You can check out our shop if you want to look at services or even products at shop.purrrfectlyholistic.com. And like and subscribe and share this video and things on our YouTube platform so we can get the word out to more cat people, and just share the information, because that's how we help each other do better for our cats. So with that, we will say good night, and you guys have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you next time. Thank you, everyone. Take care.